Okay, this is the P4 paper from October 2020. It's question number 4, and as you can see by looking at this, this is a coordinate geometry, well, parametric equations question, and then a little bit later on we're going to be working out the equation of a tangent, which means we're going to be differentiating parametric equations. Let's have a look at it to see what we're going to do for part A. So it says we've got this curve, x equals 2t squared minus 6t, y equals t cubed minus 4t, and the first thing they want us to do is to find the coordinates of A and B up here. So A and B are where and in fact the origin there are 3 points where the curve hits the x-axis. So that's what I'm going to do for part A, and knowing that one of my answers will be 0, 0. Let's tell the examiner that I understand what I've got to do. So I'm going to say for A and B, the curve hits the x-axis, and so y equals 0. If y is equal to 0, then t cubed minus 4t is equal to 0. That's the parametric for y. So we can solve this. Take t out as a factor. Leaves me t squared minus 4. Everybody should recognise that t squared minus 4 is the difference of 2 squares. In fact, let's just slow that down a bit. So before I do the answer, say t minus 2t plus 2. But then we're going to get t is equal to 0, t is equal to 2, t is equal to minus 2, and that will correspond to A, B, and the origin. We want to work out which ones are which. We can use the fact that we know x is equal to 2t squared minus 6t. So if we do that for, let's just call them x1, x2, x3, I suppose. X1 is 2 lots of 0 squared minus 6 lots of 0. That's 0. X2 will be 2 lots of 2 squared minus 6 lots of 2. That works out to be minus 4. And x3 is 2 lots of minus 2 squared minus 6 lots of minus 2. That works out to be the value 20. And so that's actually answered all of part A, because part A is equal to minus 4 noughts, and B is equal to 20 noughts. If we go back and look at the question, it said find the coordinates of A, show the coordinates of B are 20 noughts. Yeah, that's what we've got here now then. So that's minus 4 naught, that's 20 naught, and the third one was the 0, 0, but we're not interested in the one where it crosses the origin. So part B says, can we show the equation of the tangent to the curve is 7y plus 4x minus 80 equals 0. So the tangent at B, really doing this only because I've read the rest of the question out. Tangent at B then, later on we're going to be looking at this value here, but not yet. So to find the equation of the tangent at B, remember we know that B is the point 20, 0 here. I'm going to use the equation of a straight line, part B, equation of a tangent, but basically the equation any straight line is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. So we know x1 and y1 already. We've got to work out m. M is the gradient. It's the if I'm going to work that out, I'm going to start off with x equals 2t squared minus 6t. Let's differentiate that and get dx by dt, which is 4t minus 6. Y is equal to t cubed minus 4t. So dy by dt is going to be 3t squared minus 4. So dy by dx is dy by dt times dt by dx. As always, just notice we've got dx dt, not dt dx. That's no problem. All that means is that dy by dx is going to be 3t squared minus 4 times 1 over 4t minus 6. Well, I'm just going to put it straight away as divided by 4t minus 6, but that's dy by dx. So m is going to be dy by dx, but at what point? Well, we know from our earlier work that b is when t equals minus 2. So m is going to be 3 lots of minus 2 squared minus 4, and then 4 lots of minus 2 minus 6. That all tidies up to minus 4 over 7 if you do it. I'm not going to do the working out for you for that. That's our m. So going back to the equation of a tangent that we had up the top there. In fact, I'm just going to copy that out. So copying that down now, I've got that, and I know that, just generally always tend to write this down here, just more than anything, because it means I'm less likely to make a mistake, but often in terms of the examiner now, they can see exactly where I'm getting these values from. So x1 was equal to 20, y1 was equal to 0, and this goes to point 20, 0. So plugging all that in, I'm going to get y minus 0 equals minus 4 over 7, x minus 20. We know what we're trying to make it equal to, but no matter what, if I had this, multiply everything by 7. Just tidy this all up. 7y is equal to, in this case, minus 4x plus 80, and that looks pretty familiar to what we just had there. I'll just go back and check it, but I'm hoping that that was what I was trying to prove then, because that's what I've got. 7y plus 4x minus 80 equals 0. So we've managed to do part B, which was the equation of the tangent. Part C, then, long question this, 3, 5 and 4. There's I suppose there's enough marks for it, but it's taking a fair old amount of time to do. It says the tangent to the curve at B cuts the curve again at P. Can we find the x coordinate? So as I say, I've already read this question. P is this point here where the tangent comes back, where this line hits the curve again. So that's clearly at point P here. And in order to do that then, so that little bit of a diagram, you don't need to draw any of the work on the diagrams I'm doing, but sometimes it just gives you an idea as to where to get started with your next bit of work. So we're trying to find where 7y plus 4x minus 80 equals 0. Where does that intersect with our parametric? Well, what I'm going to do is to equate the two, or in other words, I'm going to put x equals t cubed minus, x equals 2t squared minus 6t, and y equals t cubed minus 40. I'm going to put these two bits into the equation for the for the tangent. So here, there is my equation, but what I can now do is I can say 7y is t cubed minus 40, and then x is 2t squared minus 6t minus 80 equals 0, and now I've just got to solve this. And when I say just solve this, actually it's going to be a cubic, so minus 28t plus 8t squared minus 24t minus 80 equals 0. Well, that all tidies up then to 7t cubed plus 8t squared minus 52t minus 80 equals 0. And I've got to try and solve that. So if I'm trying to solve that, ideally I need to know a value that it works for, but we do. We know that one of the solutions is this point here, which is when t equals minus 2. We actually know it's two solutions, but I'll talk about that at the very, very end. We certainly know that t equals minus 2, which is that point there. That's going to work for my equation. So we know t equals minus 2. So what that means is that I can do the long division, t plus 2 into this cubic to see if I can solve it. So 7t cubed plus 8t squared minus 52t minus 80 equals 0. And again, a little bit of a method, but you should be really, really good at these. Right, let's go through it and just quickly remind ourselves. So how many times does t go into 7t cubed? It goes in 7t squared times. If I now multiply 7t squared by all of that, I'm going to get 7t cubed plus 14t squared. What we then do is subtract that, and the t cubes should all cancel. 8 minus 14 gives me minus 6t t squared. Bring down the minus 52t minus 80, and then just repeat that method again. If you're not sure about this, go back and look at some of my other videos on the channel to remind yourself of this. Now I'm doing how many times does this go into this? I'm going to go a bit quicker now. So it goes in minus 6t times, minus 6t times is going to give me, try and go quicker, it's going to give me minus 6t squared minus 12t. Subtract that to get my new value here. Minus 52 plus 12 is going to give me minus 40t. Bring down the minus 80, and again, how many times does t go into minus 40? Or minus 40t. It goes in minus 40 times, which gives me that. Take that away will mean that I end up with 0. So at least I know that that's all worked. And what we can now do is we can say that 7t cubed plus 8t squared minus 52t minus 80 equals 0 equals t plus 2, 7t squared minus 6t minus 40 equals 0, and we can now factorize that. Now I'm going to do this really quickly and I'll explain why in a second. Factorizing that is 7t minus 20 t plus 2 equals 0. I'm going to focus on that answer there then. 7t minus 20 equals 0, which will give me t equals 20 over 7. How did I do this bit so quickly? Well, actually, in fact, I really did it slowly. At this point here, when I said t minus 2 is a factor, t equals minus 2 means t plus 2 is a factor, we actually knew all the way back there, not only was it a factor, it was a repeated factor. There were two values for t equals minus 2. So what I could have done if I'd wanted to, I just think it would have confused you at the time, but some of the stronger students in here, rather than dividing by t plus 2 here, you could have divided by t squared plus whatever t plus 2 all squared is, which is t squared plus 4t plus 4. If you'd done that and divided by that exactly, you straight away would have got our 7t minus 20. I'm quite happy on reflection to have done it a little bit slower and got to this stage, but now we're saying, yeah, these two we already knew, so this is my answer that I'm going to be looking for. And then just what was the question? The question actually said, no, can you find the x value? So the x value is, well, it was 2t squared minus 6t, so it's going to be 2 lots of 20 over 7 squared minus 6 lots of 20 over 7 there, and whatever that actually works out to be. It's not a particularly neat answer, actually. It works out to be minus 40 over 49. Another one of those where you just think, oh, in an exam I'd be a bit panicky about getting something like that. But that is the correct answer, because obviously I've checked that through. So yeah, quite a long question that, and quite a few difficult bits to it, but you know, P4. Hopefully that will make sense to you.